Hello vintage outboard motor fans, this is T-Mike making another video today. Today's video is going to be episode 3 of the Bubba motor. The Bubba motor, the 1941 3.3 horsepower Evinrude for Harvey. So let's recap. Episode 1 we replaced the power head. Episode 2 we replaced the rewind starter's broken spring, and this episode we're going to tackle the carburetor. And it's a unique video. I've come across everything with this motor, and I've got a couple of T-Mike tricks in here that's going to help you, and hopefully by the end of this episode we can make it run. I hope so. I love what I do. This is a trying motor and I love that too. So if everybody's ready, here we go. Make it run. The carburetor here is the kind that's got that needle valve in the center. All right. So the adjustment for the high speed right there has a knob on it. All right, and that knob pushes this up, which pushes that valve down and chokes it. It also pushes this valve up underneath here to let the gas get in. Pretty unique design. So I broke the knob. The knob was broken. I ordered another one and put it in, and it broke. So I got a fuel modification on that knob going on in the shop right now. But right now I want to show you what happens when I turn the gas on. If I can do it, can't get it turned on. When I turn the gas on, that needle, it wasn't working at all. I gotta stop the flow right here. I cleaned it and put it in, and the valve never comes up. So the cork must be bad. It doesn't. The cork's supposed to fill as the carburetor fills with gas. A needle valve comes up, and it's not doing it. So that's another problem. So right now I got the broken knob here, and I got that float that needs to be floating with the gas. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna take you inside now and show you my fuel modification on the idle knob. We're gonna fix this first so it'll work here. Then we're gonna work on that carburetor. I will get her done. Beautiful day out here to be working. So here's the control knob. I've drilled a hole and put a drive pin in there with some super glue, and it looks like it's gonna hold. Alright, so the carburetor float inside the carburetor never really fills up, so I got my air compressor out here, my fancy DeWalt, and I removed the fuel line from here to here and opened the valve, and look, there's barely any drip coming out. So we must have a clog, so I'm going to try to hit it with some air and we'll see what happens. Whoa, that did it. Look at that. Got me all wet. Oh, Lord. Look at her coming out now. I fixed it, put it all back together, and now look at it. The gas is pouring out the top, but the float is not floating. When I pull the float up, it stops everything, but it goes right back down. So the float is bad. Got pressure in the tank now. Gas is pouring out, but the float, when I pull the float up manually, it stops everything, which is where it should be, and then it goes right back. Oh, now it's holding. But then I touch it and it goes right back down, the gas spurts out. So the float's bad. We'll have to change the float. I got the carb completely apart. The needle valve goes through this carb, and it's supposed to push it up as it floats. I got me some fuel sitting here, and I dropped the float in there, and it looks like it floats. looks like it wants to float. I'm gonna put it together and then see if it still floats. With the two pieces that hold it, sits in the carburetor like this, and the fuel has got to pick it up. Let's see if the fuel floats it. No. Oh, that float don't have enough power to lift it. It's got to have enough flotation in it. Got to have enough float to pick this thing up, and it's not. It ought to be floating right now, by my way of thinking. So I'm gonna have to get me another float. I don't think you can get floats. I think I'm gonna have to make one. I believe T Mike's gonna have to do a T Mike trick and make a float that'll float this needle valve. Bad float. So I went through all my floats and I found a 9.5 square float. Looks like it ought to fit. I just took a magic marker, marked off the edges to make it look like it's the same shape, rounded them off. It's about the same thickness. So now I got to drill a hole dead center just like the original has. And I've done that. So now let's put her in the gas and see if it works. Alright, so I'm going to take my homemade float here that I patterned after the original, and I'm going to drop her in gasoline, and she floats. Yes sir, she's a floater. All I got to do is put her back together, and hopefully this will fix our problem. The T-Mike trick is going to work, I think. Alright, we've cleaned the carburetor, blew out the fuel connection, got all soaking wet with gasoline, and I've replaced the cork. Now let's see if when I turn the fuel on, if that float will come up. Hey, it came up, yes, and it's not leaking. So the knob right here pushes this up, pushes that float down and floods it. It also pushes up on a lever down here. Let's see if we can flood it. Yes sir, see the gas coming out? And then the float pops back up and seals it off. Oh, quit dripping, baby. Quit dripping. There it goes. Yeah. Yeah, so the cork is operating properly. Now let's get the field modification knob on right here, and we'll be ready to start her up. The Bubba motor's looking better. Field modified knob here. I drilled a hole, put a drive pin in there. It's black, so it kind of matches, and it works. It's performing the function that it needs to do. Push down that pin and come back. All right, let's see if we can get her started now. I can't get it started now. I got replaced the power head, replaced the starter spring, replaced the pawls on the starter, cleaned the carburetor, blew out the lines, replaced the float. Everything looks right. Have spark, have fuel, will not start. So that's the end of this episode. We'll pick it up on the next episode. The trials and tribulations of a vintage outboard motor restoration guy. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I know I enjoyed making it. You know, my mission here at T Mike's Vintage Outboards is to have every part, every video, and every parts manual you need to repair, service, and restore your vintage outboard motors. And I think I'm there. I think I have it. So the best way to reach me is at my website, tmikesvintageoutboards.com. It's the first link down below in the description. on that website, I have all the links you need to contact me, provide the information I need for your one-stop shopping. All right, you can find all my parts right there. I have a parts broker link where you can submit a form to me to look for your hard to find parts. I have a mail-in repair link where you can click on it, talk about shipping your part to me for repair. I have a technical consulting link where you can donate to my site and ask me technical questions and get an answer. I also have a restorations link. You can click on that if you want me to restore your motor. I can give you the information you need to do that. So my website is a wonderful thing. Please click on it, go to it in order to contact me. And remember, always remember, and never forget, here at Team Mike Vintage Outboards, we're doing it one motor at a time.